Hello, and thank you to everyone for joining today's live presentation. Our speaker today is Brandon Lurie, and he will be presenting Cash Flow Crunch, helping your clients manage their cash flow better. Brandon Lurie is the growth lead at Sequence, a personal finance startup helping individuals allocate their money before they spend it. After an extensive career in finance and helping investors and clients manage their money, he noticed a gap. Individuals always overspent after they had already spent their money, leaving them constantly chasing the cash flow positive ball. There had to be a better way. There had to be a way to digitize the envelope system. And so he joined with his teammates to build Sequence, the world's first financial router. Using data and best practices from hundreds of customers and clients, Brandon has collected a trove of knowledge around best templates, formulas, and frameworks to help your clients manage their cash flow. Today's webinar is worth one CFP credit. After the presentation, you'll need to navigate back to your dashboard on the FPA Learning Center and complete the course evaluation, which will grant the credit. If you have questions for Brandon, you can place them in the Q&A box, which you can access by clicking on the Q&A button on the bottom of the screen, and he will get to them at the end of the presentation. And with that, I will hand it over to Brandon.
Thank you very much, Nick. It's a pleasure to meet everybody here from FPA. Thank you to all the 40 participants that I see, or 38, I guess, sans Nick and I, for joining us here today. Nick gave me a very kind and extensive introduction, and I want to frame up the conversation by providing just a little bit more color to understand the buy-in and expertise that I come to this particular area from. My background, as Nick mentioned, is in finance itself and investment management. And many of the customers and investors that I work with had issues struggling with their cash flow. And so all of that together led me to some of the sharpest, most concrete practices I've seen throughout my time in my career that I would love to share with you as financial planning advisors as you help your clients navigate their cash flows. So let me tell you a little bit about myself in addition to that and what we're doing here at Sequence. So as Nick mentioned, I'm Brandon, and I lead growth here at Sequence. And we are the world's first financial router. What we do is that we help CFPs enable better cash flow management for their clients by automating their clients' spend before they spend it. If you as an advisor are looking to automatically route their money in customizable ways to their Fidelity, to their IRA, to whatever accounts, whatever spend they're looking for, Sequence has built the platform for that. If Monarch, for example, or YNAB or Tiller do a post-mortem after clients spend their money, Sequence does an actionable pre-mortem before they spend it. In other words, so much of my experience with my clients, and I am sure your experience with your clients, had to do with analyzing their spend after they spent it. There has to be a way to better budget by allocating their money before they spend it. That's what's called the digital envelope system. That's the financial router that we've built, and that's what Sequence is all about. The result we've seen at our company and our startup is that our clients, our customers, and I'm sure your clients as well, see responsible spending, automated money management and transfers, and zero financial stress. And it's been successful to date. We've got over 800 customers, $10,000+ in revenue a month, and thousands of data points around best cash flow management that I'm excited to share with you guys today. As a final note, we've also raised a $5.5 million seed round as a venture-backed startup from Olive Ventures, Israel Premier Venture Investor. So Sequence is the world's first financial router that's helping digitize the envelope system by automating your clients' transfers before they spend it. So let's dive into some of the best practices that we have seen from our customers and our data points on the Sequence platform. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to address a couple of unique financial challenges that young professionals in particular face. Young professionals today frequently have various income streams, including their base salary, bonuses, stock options, side project investments, freelancing gigs, as more. As financial advisors, you are very tuned in to the numerous income opportunities that individuals have today, particularly on the younger side of their career. And while this is excellent opportunity, it also poses significant challenges for managing all of those various cash flows. Sequence is a great tool that helps with that, but what we've seen with our clients are some of the best ways to manage that. So understanding and managing these income sources is pivotal, we believe, to financial success in their early careers. And that's what we've been able to do at Sequence. So what's today's agenda? The first thing we're going to do is talk about what cash flow management is. We're big believers here at Sequence in First Principles, so in order to address the best practices for cash flow management, we have to first conceptually understand what cash flow management is. And definitions here are critical because as everybody knows what cash flow management is in the Mecca, in the large, specifically how it relates to helping your clients is particularly important for this lecture. We're then going to go through a typical young professional's income stream, the various streams that he would have and how he could organize it. Then we're going to talk about how you as advisors can help your clients maximize those income streams from turning them from static into active income streams, emergency funds as a core component of that. And finally, the most exciting part of this lecture, automations. How today, at present, with technology solutions, you can automate your clients' deposits, liabilities, transfers as more, certainly with Sequence, as well as some various other service offerings. So let's jump in. What exactly is cash flow management? Cash flow management is the process of tracking and managing your client's income and expenses to ensure that they have enough money to cover their bills and save for the future. Now, the definitions here are critical because we chose the words tracking and managing as it comes to ensuring your clients are active and proactive about what they're doing with their money. And as they're doing both of those things when it comes to their income and expenses. It's not enough just to manage their incomes, and it's not enough just to manage their expenses. They have to manage both of them. As you guys know, cash flow management is an essential skill for anybody who wants to achieve financial security and independence for several reasons. I don't need to tell this to you as financial advisors, but it helps your clients achieve financial stability, ensuring that they don't live paycheck to paycheck, which is critical for you guys. And obviously, that's effective management is the key to reaching their financial goals, retirement at a certain age, vacations at a certain amount per year, whatever their financial goals are. It helps with proper cash flow management to achieve those goals, therefore reduce financial stress. And ultimately, of course, the prime goal of you all is to build wealth over time. So the strategies we discussed today are going to help your clients take control of their finances and make smarter financial decisions. So let's jump in right into the meat of it. We're going to focus, as I mentioned today, on a young professional's income streams. So when you step back and you look at a couple of the income streams an individual and a client of yours might have today, here are just a few of them. The first, most obviously, is their base salary. This is the regular paycheck, which forms the core of their income. This is what they get paid by their employer. But in addition to their base salary, many companies also offer year-end bonuses and performance-based bonuses, which can significantly boost their earnings in a given year. And we've seen that many, many customers on the Sequence platform manage their base salary well, but their bonuses not so well. Given the fact that bonuses could be variable depending on their performance, they're not very good at allocating. So we believe one of the best steps to allocate their bonus is to first map out that they are receiving their bonus each year. In addition to their bonus, many of them working at technology companies, for example, will have RSUs, restricted stock units. Now, there are legalities that come to restricted stock units and when they are activated, how long they vest for, when they can be redeemed. But RSUs are essentially a grant of company stock that vests over time. And when they vest, they convert into shares of a company stock, providing a source of income. So companies oftentimes will hire individuals, give them equity in the form of RSUs to incentivize them to stay at the company for a while. And after that equity matures, it becomes stock of the company. And while that is not necessarily considered income in hard cash, it's still a very important source of income that we've seen with our customers on the Sequence platform. Number 4, there are liquidity events. A liquidity event is a significant event in the tech world, such as a merger, an acquisition, an IPO. Tech professionals can receive many of these payouts when these events occur. Particularly, when it comes to our customers at Sequence, we've seen that many of them need to adjust their tax payments for each one of these liquidity events. There are capital gains taxes that individuals on the liquidity events have to pay. With Sequence, you can automatically allocate those towards their specific tax bills or pods. But as financial advisors, it's important to understand that you could have this source of income, this liquidity event to them in the future. And finally, the last 2, everybody today is going 1,000 different places, doing 1,000 different things. I'm sure your clients are no exception. There are side projects. Tech-savvy individuals today often engage in side projects, consulting, freelancing, generating, etc., additional income. And again, lastly, is investments, dividends, interest, capital gains from personal investments also contribute to their income. And so what we've seen is really helpful with first identifying a young professional's income stream is to map them out. Because people today, particularly on the younger side, have all of these various income streams, a great method to manage the chaos is to map it out. So now that they've got all of these sources of income, how do they maximize it? From the Sequence platform with our customers, this is what we've seen from our use cases. First and foremost, on a much more emotional and supportive level, but nonetheless, as an advisor, this is a role that you all play. You should encourage your clients to invest in themselves. The best investment your clients will make, it sounds tacky, it sounds cliche, but it's true. They should invest in themselves. Education, training, upskilling, and more to make themselves more marketable in their field is excellent and preferable. This obviously leads to higher paying job opportunities. That's one. Two, they should also negotiate their salary, of course. While Sequence doesn't deal specifically with negotiations, we're just a financial router that helps our customers route their money from one place to another in customizable fashion. Clients nonetheless tell us all the time that they're negotiating their salary. And sometimes the deposit that they will get is variable, and they want to help allocating their money automatically depending on that, which underscores the idea that your clients are constantly and should be constantly negotiating their salary. They should not be afraid to do so. They should conduct comparable research, salary in their industry, and be confident in their net worth and get remunerated for the amount that they think they deserve. Last and most importantly, every financial advisor today knows this, but it's nonetheless important to reiterate once more that individuals, your clients, should consider taking on side hustles or freelance work to supplement their income. They've got all of these different opportunities, and reaching and leaning into some of them is incredibly important. Losing focus, we know, is detrimental, but if your clients can manage both full peak performance for the primary source of income and also start to explore other ones as well, that is significantly beneficial for maximizing their income. And again, one of the struggles here is mapping out all of these income streams that they have, whether they're older on the retirement side, younger side on RSUs and stock options, for example. At Sequence, this is exactly what we do. We help you map out that money as the financial router. So once they've gone ahead and they've maximized their income, what do we see our customers do next that really helps them ensure that financial stability and, of course, that motto of building wealth? Well, first of all, an emergency fund, as many of you know, some perhaps not, is a crucial component, we believe, of any smart cash flow plan. It's important to essentially have this safety net in case of unexpected loss or income. And here are a couple of ways that you could set an emergency fund aside. First, set a goal. Talk to your clients. Understand what their expenses are. Understand what their needs are. And determine how much your clients need to save for emergencies. We've seen at the Sequence platform that a general rule of thumb is to have 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses in their emergency fund. Now, for those who are wondering, we have seen that 3 to 6 months of living expenses includes rent or their mortgage. So you want to price that in also as well. So the first and foremost thing to do when you have an emergency fund is set a goal. What do I want this goal to be? On the conservative side, it should be 3 months of living expenses. On the average side, it should be 6. On the aggressive and super conservative side, it should be 6. It should be 12 months. Next, automate their savings. Set up automatic transfers from their checking account to reach their emergency fund savings account. One of the issues we see at Sequence as the world's first financial router is that people are not good at automatically routing their money. We introduced that concept of automation into your financial routing game. And the way that helps is because you can now automate the process of actually doing the saving. Instead of having one lump sum in their checking account or wherever else they keep it and not being able to manage it and spending it away, with Sequence and lots of other platforms, you can automate their savings. Automation is critical to allocating their money and building wealth. And finally, most importantly, you have to keep their emergency fund separate. Many different times, individuals, just because of human nature and behavioral economics, we are keen to dip into our emergency funds. We're keen to dip into money if we see it there. One of the best pieces of advice we could give from our customers on our platform is to keep their emergency fund in a separate savings account from other savings. With Sequence, you could build an emergency fund itself and automatically route the money to it, but there are lots of different ways you could think creatively with your clients to do so. So the first thing you want to do is maximize your income. Once you tell your clients how to maximize their income, then you want to build that emergency fund with them by setting that goal, by automating their savings, and then by keeping that emergency fund separate. Finally, and most intriguingly, what you want to do is automate their cash flows. You want to automate their entirety of their cash flows. This concept of automation has come into focus in recent years by the fact that computers, particularly when it comes to AI, have enabled us to automate lots of tasks away. Today, there are ample custom routing tools, obviously Sequence included, that enable you to do that. Now, what happened is that in around the year 2000, there was this complex world of open banking where all of your financial services used to be delivered by a bank. All these financial applications, from lending to spending to budgeting to financing and more, became verticalized individual platforms. And your clients now have money locked up in lots and different of these platforms. They've got money in their Venmo account, in their Fidelity account, in their IRA, in their checking account, in their pension account, whatever it is. They've got money all over the place due to this revolution in open banking. Well, how do you wrangle all of that? How do you bring all of that web together? We at Sequence have built that map to do so, and we at Sequence believe that the best way you could do that is by automating the cash flows between each one of these. Financial automation through a router is the key. This involves utilizing platforms that automate transfers, create custom rules to move their money based upon specific conditions. And these custom automation solutions can provide a high level of control over their particular finances. So how do you go about actually actioning these automations? The first thing you want to keep in mind is that you want to automate cash flow from their accounts themselves. Automation is a game changer when it comes to managing your clients' accounts. By setting up automated transfers and allocations, your clients can pay themselves first, prioritize their savings, and ensure their bills are paid promptly. One of the biggest issues we see with our customers today is that mapping this all out and ensuring that there is proper routing done with their finances is the most difficult part. It's where people stumble. Financial routers like Sequence and other applications today help you map out those cash flows and route those money between all those innumerable financial apps that we mentioned. How else do you automate from their accounts? What you're going to want to do is income allocation. They can instruct their employer to deposit their paycheck directly into their checking account, which is critically important. And from there, use their checking account as the beachhead and fountainhead of the entirety of their cash flows, from which all money flows from outside. Second, they should be putting their money and automating it into savings and investments, whether it's IRAs, other forms of investment funds that they're into. This is critically important for automation as well, and automation can help here critically. We had a customer named Mila, actually, and she was originally allocating her money or automating the allocation of her spend at 15% per month. And she realized that she was approaching an age where she actually did not have enough money to retire. And what Mila needed was a better way for her to understand how the money is flowing from her bank account to her retirement and the ability to adjust that percentage based upon how much it is. We introduced her, she came across Sequence as the financial router. It's been a game changer for her in her ability to see all of her cash flow and also route that money to her savings account, her retirement account, to make sure that she achieves, which in her case is a retirement fund by the age of 60. And finally, most importantly, you want to contribute also to these emergency funds that we talked about 2 slides above. You want to make sure that you're using automation to automatically allocate a portion of your client's income to this emergency fund after setting up those goals, after allocating to it, to build this financial safety net for them. It's critically important. What else do you want to do? Well, their incomes is one part of automation for your clients. And it's so important for also remembering that they have liabilities on the other side of their balance sheet. Now, I know as financial planners, you guys know this, but our customers on the platform, I have to say, struggle to remember that they also have liabilities. They're just focused on their assets, which is why automation can really help when it comes to paying off their liabilities. Imagine if in a world where they owe liabilities, that money was paid off before they even got a chance to spend it. It would be a game changer for getting your clients out of debt, for getting your clients to a more financially healthy life, and eventually getting them to generating wealth. We believe that automation is the key to do that. Sequence obviously being one ability, one channel of doing so. So what kinds of automation of liabilities do we see customers of ours see? One is credit card payments. Automating credit card payments is also crucial to avoiding high interest rates for your clients and late fees, of course. You could set up automatic payments to cover the least minimum balance due, and if possible, pay the full balance to avoid any interest charges altogether. We have an interesting customer case of an individual named Scott, who had massive amounts of credit card debt. And his issue was that he had variable sources of income. He happened to be working in a sales job. And as variable sources of income, he was spending more on his credit card without knowing how much money was coming into his bank account each month. What he saw with Sequence is that he was able to adjust and build conditional routing rules for allocating his funds to paying off his credit card debt and other places he wanted to allocate money. So instead of being far out on the liability spectrum of overspend and far under on the income spend, with Sequence, he's able to adjust that by building conditional statements saying, if I make X amount of money over this month, then transfer Y amount of money to pay off my credit card liabilities. Building automation into paying off these liabilities is critical. Another area of automation which is critical, bill payments. You're going to want to make sure that you set up automatic payments for recurring bills such as rent, mortgage, utilities, and subscriptions. There are many great applications, and I'm sure as financial advisors, you have got spreadsheets full of them themselves. But one great way to do it is to build a map, a visualized map that has all of the expenses that your clients have: rent, mortgage, utilities, subscriptions, and more. When they have that, you can now introduce automation to pay off each one of those bills every single month. Sequence, we have this as a platform with the router. You could route that money conditionally every single month to them as well. But this is a critical aspect to have for your clients. You want to make sure that they're paying off their bills. And finally, and perhaps weighs most heavily on many of your clients, debt repayment. If your clients have debts or loans that they need to repay, student loans, mortgages, home loans, whatever it might be, you're going to want to set up automatic transfers to pay them down systematically. Now, this part I put at the bottom because I think most people in our experience on the Sequence platform are really, really good at paying off debt repayment when it comes to home mortgages and personal loans. But where they really, really strike issue is at credit card payments. Credit card payments, as we mentioned at the top, is really something that's huge for them. They struggle a lot with it. And we have found with our customers who visit the Sequence platform is that by using our platform to map their money flows and then introduce transfers by using our financial router from wherever institution they use, it's been a game changer in them paying off their debt through automating their liabilities. So to sum, here are the key action steps that we believe your clients can take to improve their cash flow management immediately. First, they should understand the source of their income. They should maximize their income. They should negotiate their salary, and they should build an emergency fund, of course. After building that emergency fund, which you should determine based off what a set goal is, what you think is appropriate, and how you can allocate to it, you should diversify their earnings to maximize their asset class upside. What we've seen at Sequence, of course, is the more diversified our customers have their investments, whether they're putting them in IRAs, whether they're putting them in high yield savings accounts, wherever they're putting them, it turns out best for them. Number 4, automation is your best friend. With the revolution in open banking, you have this panoply of digital financial apps that keep it difficult for your clients to keep track of. Many different budgeting apps have been great at dashboarding all of those: Monarch, YNAB, formerly Mint. But none of them enable you to route money between the two. Instead of just looking at your checking account and seeing your investment account and seeing your Venmo account, what if you could get your money to speak between your checking account to your Venmo account, to your et cetera, and more, to tell a story of almost building Zapier for your money? That's what we're doing here at Sequence. And that's what we've seen so many people at Sequence really benefit from. And finally, harness that automation, build customizable rules, make these things have some sort of give in the muscles, but at the same time tight enough to keep their budgeting strong, to organize, aggregate, and allocate their funds to various platforms. We believe that by following these steps and by making smart financial decisions, we've seen from our customers how you as advisors can create a cash flow plan that works for your clients and helps them achieve their goals. Thank you guys very much. I'm happy to take questions. I see one question here about what best replaces Mint on phones. It's a great question. There are some great budgeting apps out there, I would say, that have a great mobile experience. One of them being Monarch, which is a slight competitor of ours. YNAB is also great as well. I'd encourage you to also give Sequence a shot. We haven't built our mobile app yet. We're in the process of doing so. But I would say probably Monarch and YNAB are two great options in addition to Sequence as well. Now, again, the valuable part about these is that they give you a dashboard of your client's money. They tell you where all of their cash is going itself. But if you want to bring them that cash to life, if you want to route it automatically without your clients thinking about it, we think Sequence is the best way to do so. Holly, thank you so much. I appreciate that. If you would like a free trial, we do offer that. You have my email here on screen. You're happy to get in touch with me, and I'll find a way to offer you a 1-month free trial as well. I should mention also as well that while Sequence is a consumer platform built for those who are conscious budgeters, we actually have an entire product suite built for advisors also as well. As you can imagine, many of you guys have clients who need to struggle with cash flow management, and this is part of the value offering that you offer to your clients. And we've built an entire product suite just for advisors specifically to help you manage that. Another question from Nathaniel. First of all, please keep the questions coming. I love it. Who would say is your target client, i.e. net worth and income profile? So I can't share data obviously itself, but anonymized and in the abstract, I would say most of our customers actually come on, and they're not clients, they're more customers, come on actually two sides of the spectrum. The first are the younger customers, as I mentioned in this presentation. These are individuals who are upstarts just beginning in their career, and they got lots of different streams of income. I say their net worth is between $750,000 to $1.5 million is what we're looking at today. And their income profile is pretty high, is high upper income. I'd say between 150 to 200, maybe even higher than that. At the same time, we also have plenty of people on the other side of the spectrum who are less well off or older as well. These are not the same things, of course, but older individuals have, like younger people, many streams of income. Some of our customers we see on our platform, what they have are many real estate investments. And the older you get, the more real estate you tend to buy. So how do you manage allocating money from your rental property towards your investments and automating that entire process? At Sequence, we see that many of our clients, many of our customers are in that higher net worth, late age in their life segment. They've got many different types of diversified incomes, not only their retirement accounts, also short-term rentals, also pensions, some of them Social Security also as well, in addition to their base salary if they're working as well. Anonymous attendee, which is a very interesting name. Are you going to share the presentation slides? I'll leave that one up to Nick. I'm more than happy to with anybody who would like. If you would like, again, I think this is being recorded, but my email is here on screen. Please feel free to email me, and I'm happy to give you guys a demo, go through more expansively the deck, and even show you guys the platform also as well and how it can be beneficial for you and your firms. Other questions? Nathaniel. What is the subscription cost for a customer? The subscription cost is $10 per month if you're a financial planner per client. So if you sign up, Nathaniel, let's say you've got 30 clients, you decide to start with 10, signing up 10, it's $10 per month. So it'd be $100 total to your firm. And then it actually decreases. The first 30 clients is $10 per month. And then the next 30 that you sign up is actually cheaper. It's $9 per month. And then after that, it's $8 for any customer afterwards. So the first 30 is $10 per month. The second 30 is $9. And finally, any client after that is $8 per month. We try to keep it cheap because what we're mostly focused on here is building healthy cash flow management. Any other questions? Okay. Nick?
Do you have any questions? Any other questions for Brandon? Place them in the Q&A, please. guess we are all out of questions then.
I guess so. I'll say if anybody has any questions, both about the presentation or about our platform or about how we came to these cash flow practices and want to expand on them a little bit more, my email is right here, brandon@getsequence.io. Please feel free to reach out.
All right. Well, appreciate you taking the time to present to us today, Brandon.
My pleasure.
All right. Well, thanks, and everybody have a great day.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy.